Hey everyone, this is Don Gold, the art guy, bringing you another art video. Today I want to be talking about 5 rules to paint by. And at the end there will be a bonus section on how to pick a good subject for your inspiration. So let's begin. From inspiration to final brushstroke, you'll get better results every time you paint if you follow these 5 rules as guidelines. If you're like me, you're looking at your painting and you feel like there's something wrong, but you just don't know what. Today I want to show you how to spot 5 common pitfalls that many artists struggle with, and the rules that will help you to avoid them in your next painting. With a little practice and attention to detail, these 5 rules and guidelines for using line, color, and value will become second nature and will dramatically improve your painting results. So I have painted lighthouse pictures for you, and your job is to find out what is wrong with these pictures. Now let's begin with picture number 1. I call this define without lines. Using lines to define the forms in your composition diminishes the realistic look of the painting and distracts the viewer. What I want you to do is draw the composition completely in pencil before you begin to paint. When you start painting, you can use contrasting values and colors to define specific elements rather than rely on bold lines. The watercolors will cover the pencil marks and no obvious lines will be left in your final painting. So here in this painting number 1, see how outlining the objects with bold line distracts from the natural appearance of the landscape. Now let's go to number 2. I want you to focus on, that one is called focus on your subject. You can't always replicate exactly what you see and come away with a painting that works. Often you need to alter background colors, eliminate detail, or add contrast to keep the viewer's focus on the main subject. In painting number 2, the lighthouse is the main focus, but note how the top of the lighthouse gets lost in the clouds. Although that part of the lighthouse and the clouds may have looked equally white in person or in a photograph, to keep the viewer's attention focused on the lighthouse and away from the red roof below it, it would have been much better to choose the colors for the less important background, clouds, and then you could enhance the top of the lighthouse. Now go to painting number 3. But this one is called maintain color continuity. Using color in an isolated area of your painting gives the piece a feeling of imbalance. Colors look more natural if they appear throughout the painting. In painting number 3, the green grasses in the foreground would have been more realistic if there was some yellowish grass in the area. And then you could add yellow to the clouds, the lighthouse, and the foreground to make the overall color scheme of the painting more cohesive. Now go to number 4. Beware of tangents. A tangent occurs when the edges of 2 or more elements touch. Tangents grab the viewer's attention and distract from the intended focal point of the painting. Now in painting number 4 of the lighthouse scene, the top of the red roof lines up with the opposite shore. This tangent distorts the depth perception for the viewer and competes for attention with the focal point, the lighthouse. Now go to picture number 5. This is save the right amount of white. Without enough light in your watercolor, it will appear dull and lifeless. To ensure that your painting has pure white highlights, plan where you need to keep your paper white and look for the light. So in painting number 5, with no visible white areas in the painting, the entire composition lacks a focal point. And in this painting, there's no movement in the painting area. The viewer must search unsuccessfully for the light. Following these rules, it may feel cumbersome at first, but as you grow accustomed to think about these 5 important concepts, and I'm going to review them for you. Number 1 was define without lines. Number 2 was focus on your subject. And then maintain color continuity. Oh, and always beware of tangents. And lastly, save the right amount of white. If you keep in mind these 5 concepts, they'll quickly become a natural part of your painting process. And as a result, you'll see a dramatic improvement in your work. Now go to painting number 6. I've tried to follow all 5 rules in a version of the painting, creating a unified scene with the lighthouse at the focal point. Okay, now we're going to go to the bonus section. Bonus section is how to pick a good subject to be your inspiration. And the first one is, don't pick pictures that have too many details. Some pictures are too busy and tend to confuse the viewer. One central theme is best. And then second is try to avoid pictures with people and babies and hands and feet and teeth and multiple folds in their clothes. These subjects are interesting, but require a considerable amount of drawing time. Avoid pictures with one tonal value. Every painting must have light, medium, and dark values. Oh, this is a good one. Avoid all photographs. They tend to be flat, and many have frontal flash that washes out all the shading. Many painters get frustrated when they cannot paint their picture just like the photograph. A painting is your personal impression and interpretation of the subject. Now, if you like a lot of sharp details, don't pick a subject that is impressionistic. And don't pick a subject that is too complicated. Simple is better and can be just as elegant. Don't try to paint the whole picture. Maybe select a portion or two only. And lastly, try to pick subjects that give you a lot of leeway for your personal expression. Now, number 9, the most important thing is analyze what kind of pictures you like most. What do you find interesting? What's your passion? What turns you on and why? Is it the color combinations? Is it the design? Is it the details? Is it the emotions? If you paint what moves you, your painting experience will be more enjoyable. And then always be on the lookout for subjects to paint. Keep a file folder of painting ideas. Many fantastic paintings are really composites of many painting ideas, such as your favorite clouds, waterfalls, lighthouses, trees, etc. Now you may ask, will I ever be able to paint on a blank canvas with no reference material? Well, sure you will. But most of us paint from experience, and some of us tend to forget some of the details, so reference material is just a tool to get you started. And I like to think of the reference card as a small box of inspiration. And then you can think outside the box and paint your heart out. Lastly, I want to talk a second about paint consistency. Paint consistency seems to be the biggest hurdle to overcome when you are just starting to paint with watercolors. My advice, add paint to water, not water to paint. If you add water to paint in your palette, you'll end up with a very watery mix. When you need a lighter shade than full strength, you may just have to start over. So here's what I want you to do. Follow these steps. Put a damp brush into your paint and place it on your palette. Wash the brush and place a little clean water on a clean part of the palette. Now, pick up the little of the paint, add it to the water to make a slightly lighter shade. You can repeat this process several times and you will end up with several different options on your palette, from original strong mists to various weaker tints. This concludes our talk today. I'll see you next time when I'm going to be talking about making waves. We're going to be painting water and white water.